and you need some criteria to either pay you or not pay you. But if you step back to the other coaches, Socrates and Buddha, maybe your grandfather or grandmother, they were not paid, and there is no coaching setup, engagement, contract signing. It happens very naturally. And many times when you're in difficult times, you get your solution. Huh? Correct. Yeah, correct. So that means if you truly want to operate as a coach, there is no expectation game there.
So again, I'm coming back to my point.
Yes.
It's the social impact.
Correct.
Because they are having an expectation out of the coaching.
Correct. Correct. True.
There's a mindset.
So if you ask me, I'm still in the journey. I don't claim myself to be a coach, an effective coach, because very recently I realized that I know nothing about coaching. If I put a circle and put a dot, that I know the dot amount of coaching, I'll be arrogant. That's my realization. That's why I took some major decisions in life. I quit my entrepreneurship life to actually go to more deeper research and learning from the kids that I'm working with. In fact, my kids are also here today. They'll be your customer for some of the workshop that is coming up.
Hey,
but I've taken a different
I have a question here.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is good, but see, in the real time, we need a good coach or a successful coach.
Yeah.
He or she should probably understand the organizational culture, the
Correct.
environment.
That context, right?
But how can we expect, because in the current trend, industry just brings a coach somewhere outside and they want to get the results within 6 months.
Correct. Correct.
How is it really possible?
First thing is to make them realize that you will not get anything from a coach. And a coach does nothing. Okay? There are quite a few coaches here, you can ask them. The moment you tie yourself with the success or the failure of the person, as your coach's success and failure, we are gone there. Because, as a coach, I'm doing something, although I said coach does nothing, so that the person can figure out some ways of doing whatever he or she wants. At the end of it, they succeed, there is a learning. They fail, there is a learning. You just, create the space where the person can do it. The moment you tie your success with that, you're gone. And the more you try to do it, you get grip. And then you become that English coach who wants to keep changing company from one company to another very recently or very, very soon, right? So that's not going to take you anywhere. Okay, the better you will, the better part of your coach is that you don't tie yourself with the actual outcome. Yeah, correct. That means your coaching should start with leadership team or managing the expectation. Yeah. Right. Right. Correct. Correct. Correct.
So it starts from the leadership.
They want to see change in the team.
Correct.
And the outcome is also measured.
Correct. True.
Can we see a change in 1 month, 2 months?
True.
The expectation is they ask us, then they can see the change in adoption.
Correct. Don't give an answer for them. And if you want to do these kind of experiments, you have to start the engagement with your resignation letter in the pocket. Okay, and I've done that. The day when I enter, I'm ready to move out. Come on. They measure.
They ask what is the quantified benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like how do you get in quarter and against
Yes. Yeah.
So, most of the time when everybody might go for the coaching interviews.
Yes.
They say, leadership particularly say, I need the output in 6 months or 9 months.
Correct.
And recently I think my interview and name them.
Sure.
But they need the developments in 9 months.
Right.
Go and very again.
Yeah.
But
Do you know how I beat such questions?
So every time they ask about it, the leadership doesn't answer what the need is basically.
True.
They go with the value. So how much I have to pay you? If this is my rate, you are fixing on this.
Correct.
So if you look at the entire organizations in the industry like this, then I don't see that coach are
True,
existing
exactly.
for a long time.
True, I agree fully, and I also faced some of the interviews. I have done some of the interviews myself, asking similar questions that you have experienced. What is happening there is they are trying to measure you how much you can pay based on how much you can teach. And teaching is not coaching. Teaching is one of the aspects of coaching when there is a need for teaching. Right? So, by going back to your previous question, right? In 6 months we want the output. Can you confirm? right? Or can you give it even earlier? Sometimes I use another counter question. What are you going to put on the stake? You as a leader who is interviewing me, what are you going to put on the stake? If this does not happen, what are you going to put on the stake? I'll say my resignation. I will not get paid. I'll throw the challenge openly. Sometimes they get taken back. And then I use that as an opportunity to help them discover what it means by getting a coach for a coaching meeting. It may not work always. Like I said, you should be ready to come out of the engagement. And that's a daring game, right? It's not easy. And you have to be your boss proof, company proof, maybe life proof, earth proof, whatever you want to prove, you have to become. So, the point I wanted to also make here is that all these things are examples of how much externally these contexts pull when we are trying to coach. Okay? And what we need is the coach which is pulling us inward. Now, there is only one more sentence, one more click to end this talk, which is another question. But before I do that, I just want to again share some of the thoughts around my journey of coming to the inward coach. I'll quickly share in 5 minutes. My first journey of discovering the coach inside me was around 2007 or 8 when I started teaching about Scrum, when I changed some company to another company. It so happened that I was a practitioner of Scrum, certified Scrum Master in 2007 itself. And then 2008 there was some company which was trying to undergo, and I was given some couple of teams. And I was very passionate about teaching, training, Scrum, etc. Right? And I started discovering, I thought that it is working, I'm adding value. And that's how my journey started. It continued every time I learned something new. Okay, Kanban came into this. In fact, my Agile journey started with XP. So I started reusing XP, the TDD, pairing, etc. in my coaching. So it gives us an illusion that we are actually in the coaching profession. Every time you learn something new and you are able to teach that. Okay? Like Manju mentioned about control is a myth. That's a myth that you are in the coaching every time you are trying to teach something new in the Agile world. So if you want to be in an effective Agile coaching journey, effective again is relative, but whatever definition you have, try to come out of the myth that if I teach one new jargon, use a story point. If I can teach that, I'll be a coach. Please come out of that myth. That's my invitation to all of you. It's not coaching. It's nothing to do with coaching. Okay? So then my journey continued, and then I got into entrepreneurship, independent consulting, and then I opened my own company with a few co-founders, partnered with some of the companies. There are some people from the partner company here. More engagements. And every time, in fact, because it was a long journey, 7 years of coaching, I started encountering those leaders who are asking for results and magic, etc., etc. And I had to really discover, am I really coaching, or am I consulting and giving them a solution? Should I do it or shouldn't I do it? Is this what I want to do, for example, etc. So what I realized was, at least in my coaching journey, there are two aspects when you get into a coaching engagement. One is the coaching definition we talked about, creating the space for others. But when you want to do that, they are gripped by certain problems, obstacles, which is not allowing them to play what you're helping them to play, right? So you may want to find or give solutions to unblock, right? And that's consulting, that's solutioning. You have to give solution, devise something, maybe you go and recommend some organizational structural change, or you go and suggest some change experiments, and actually you're not solving the original person's original problem. You're trying to unblock them from the problems they are gripped with. That's solutioning and that's consulting, and what they're expecting in the name of a coach is what I realized in 6 to 7 years. And from that day I had no dilemma. Whenever I need to provide a solution to unblock them, I do it without any second thoughts about, oh, is this coaching, am I coaching, not coaching. Those things don't bother me anymore. Okay? And I become as equal entrepreneur as they are. And I make it my game. If it was my company and if I were to unblock these people, what I would have done? I would have done the same thing. Let me go and do it. But when there is a pull for, okay, JP, it's good you did it, maybe you'll do it for 3 more months. What after you go? What after you leave? If someone is willing, only if someone is willing, then I say, okay, let's get into coaching. Now, is there a phase where first 2 weeks of my coaching engagement I do this, next 2 weeks this is this, or maybe within a week, first 2 hours this, next 2 hours this? No. This is like, simultaneous. It's almost happening every minute. Sometimes I'm in a coaching conversation, sometimes I'm in a consulting conversation. And it keeps switching based on the scenario. And that's how I'm able to actually do both and add some value wherever I could have added value so far. Okay, there are some people who think I have added value, and I'm reflecting on those. What really the value that I added. But it's, the point here is it's a continuous process and it's a discovery, because you can't know even at the time of interview, on the day of your joining, maybe on the first day or not even the last day. What exactly is client is asking? The very pleasant thing about this experience for me, okay, which happened very recently, is that this is also similar to the meaning of being agile. Okay, recently I heard Craig Larman, one of the great minds in the agile space, thought leader. He said one statement: agile is not about value. I'm making those statements now. Agile is not about, change. Agile is not about mindset. Can you digest these things? It was very alarming for me. And what he said after those sentences was, agile is just a tool to stay humble and say we don't know what value is for you. When we say this, we can also say this to a customer. Stay humble and say we acknowledge we don't know. Can you please help us? What is the value for you? And we do the experiments using the approaches in a continuous manner. And while doing this, if you really care about doing this in a large scale, you have to be more scientific in terms of the org design, etc., the ant colony that we talked about, right? We need to really know the science behind how structures work and how they influence or, positively or negatively about making an agile journey successful. But, the way you can realize that agile is just a tool to stay humble and say we don't know. That's when, we'll be in a different journey. And I saw that journey and my coaching journey, that metaphor that Craig shared is also matching in my discovery, and I'm still discovering. So I have now set out for a new journey of discovering what coaching is, to work with a lot of kids and some educationists, some research guys, and the parents in the area of primary education. So that's why I've set out a long journey, and I took a break from my entrepreneurship to do that. And my new coaching journey starts again. Okay? I think that's all. This is the last question that I want to leave you guys with. Being the inquiry, it's not as easy as learn story points to become a coach. Attend ICC, ACP certificate, which you have, Prashant, somewhere here. We have the course design, right? You will get some tools which will help you discover the coach in you. Definitely, I am not invalidating the value, but I will not make you a coach. It is a journey, discovery. Okay, that's all I want. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause to Mr. Jayaprakash Puttaswamy, who gave an insightful session about Agile coaching. And to felicitate Mr. JP, can we please have on stage Mr. Manju Rao? Please keep the claps coming in. All right.